Literature with Purva. In this video, we are going to talk about John Milton's epic poem Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost was written in blank verse. The first edition of the book was published in 1667 and it was arranged in 10 books. And the second edition of the book was published in 1674 and it was arranged in 12 books. So today the Paradise Lost that we read has 12 books. In this video, we are going to talk about all the important points, important characters, important events in all the 12 books of Paradise Lost. So do watch the video till the end, especially if you are preparing for UGC NET, because Paradise Lost is extremely important from NET point of view. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, then do subscribe to it and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any update. So, John Milton was writing in a period that is known as the late Renaissance. He is often called the last great Renaissance poet. And he wrote Paradise Lost at a very later stage of his poetic career, when he completely lost his eyesight and he also suffered from deep personal losses. The objective of writing Paradise Lost was to justify the ways of God to mankind. Paradise Lost tells the story of man's first disobedience, as we can see in Genesis of Bible. But from a wider perspective, if we see Paradise Lost, we can see that it also questions about the autonomy of an individual. It questions the social, political, economic, religious rights of an individual in relation to a higher authority, that of a state or the church. So book 1 of Paradise Lost opens with invocation to the muse called Urania. We can see that God has thrown a few rebel angels from heaven to hell, and the leader of the rebel angels is Satan or Lucifer. So Satan along with the rebel angels wake up and find out that they are in hell. Satan proudly says that mind is its own place and it can make hell of heaven or heaven of hell. Satan tells all the rebel angels to get back to work, and all of them create a Senate hall called the Pandemonium, where Satan is going to address all the fallen angels. Satan proudly says that it's better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. In book 2 of Paradise Lost, we see that all these fallen angels are having a meeting at the Pandemonium. And there are various fallen angels such as Belial, Mammon, Moloch, Beelzebub. Beelzebub suggests that the best way to take revenge and to make God unhappy is to lure the mortal man into following Satan. Because if mortal man will follow Satan, then God will be deeply unhappy. All the fallen angels, including Satan, is delighted with this idea. Book 3 of Paradise Lost again begins with an invocation to Holy Light. Milton tells Holy Light to help him because he is suffering from blindness. We can see God and Son of God watching what the rebel angels are planning to do next. God is upset because God knows that man will fall very easily due to his own violation. He tells Son of God that Adam and Eve will eat the forbidden fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge, despite pledging their obedience to God. On the other hand, Satan is on his way to the Garden of Eden. Satan is unable to find the new world, so he goes to an archangel called Uriel and tells her to show him the way to the Garden of Eden by disguising as an innocent looking cherub. Uriel is unable to understand that she is being tricked by Satan, and so she shows him the way to the Garden of Eden. In book 4 of Paradise Lost, John Milton again invokes the muse Urania. Now this is a very common question asked in UGC NET, that how many times do John Milton invoke the muse? You must remember that he invokes Urania in book 1 and book 4 and the Holy Light in book 3. So Satan reaches the Garden of Eden and he feels extremely jealous to see Adam and Eve living very happily there. In Garden of Eden, there is only spring and it is a beautiful place. So Satan hears Adam telling Eve not to eat from the forbidden tree of knowledge. Satan disguises as a toad and tries to tempt Eve into eating the forbidden fruit of knowledge. On the other hand, Uriel and other archangels realize that they are being tricked by Satan. So they reach Garden of Eden and they drive away Satan from that place. In Book 5 of Paradise Lost, God decides to send an archangel, Raphael, to Adam and Eve so that Raphael can warn Adam from the danger that is coming towards him and to remind him of his free will. Adam is delighted to find Raphael there and he starts asking Raphael about the great war that happened between the good angels and the bad angels. Raphael starts narrating the story of the great war between the good angels and the bad angels. Lucifer was the most beloved angel of God. But when Son of God came into existence, Lucifer started becoming jealous. And he decided not to serve God any longer. He decided to rebel along with the other angels. 1/3 of the angels went to Lucifer's side and they started rebelling against God. In Book 6, Raphael continues the story of the Great War. He says that the Great War continued for 3 days. On the 3rd day, God sent his Son to save the good angels. As a Messiah, the Son of God saved the good angels and threw the bad angels or the rebel angels to hell. Book 7 of Paradise Lost tells the story of creation. So do remember it. It's in the Book 7 of Paradise Lost that the entire story of creation is narrated by Raphael. So Adam asked Raphael that how the universe, how the world was created. And then Raphael starts narrating Adam about the story of the creation. Raphael says that God created the world for 6 days and on the 7th day he rested. God made man in his own image to govern over other creations. So that's how much God loves man. In Book 8, we see that Adam is becoming more curious. Adam asks Raphael about planets, how the planets revolve, about universe, about galaxies. So that time Raphael warns Adam not to be concerned with heavenly knowledge. He tells Adam to only be concerned with earthly knowledge because some knowledge should be limited only to God. As Raphael is about to leave, Adam starts narrating him about the story of his own creation. When Adam woke up for the first time, he realized that his entire body is covered in sweat. He was told that he was formed by God, the first father of man. Adam was living happily alone in the Garden of Eden, but he started feeling very lonely. So he asked God to give him an equal companion. One day when Adam was sleeping, God created Eve from one of Adam's ribs. This question is asked in UGC NET that who tells the story of creation of Eve from Adam's ribs to Raphael? And the answer is Adam. After creating Eve, God tells Adam and Eve to live happily in the Garden of Eden. God says that everything in the Garden of Eden is theirs, but he only wants them not to ever eat the forbidden fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge. Apart from that, everything is theirs. Before Raphael leaves, Raphael reminds Adam of his free will and tells him that no matter how big the temptation is, Adam can always use his free will and say no to it. Adam meanwhile shares with Raphael that his only weakness is his passion for Eve. Book 9 of Paradise Lost is the longest book. In this book we can see the fall of man. So Satan returns to earth and now he disguises as a serpent. Adam and Eve wake up in the morning and decide to do some gardening. As Eve is gardening alone, Satan in the form of a serpent starts talking to Eve. And Eve is surprised that how can a serpent talk? During that time, Satan tells Eve that because he has eaten the forbidden fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge, he can speak. And if Eve also eats the forbidden fruit, then Eve will become a goddess. In this way, Satan keeps on tempting Eve for a long time. And finally, Eve gives up and eats the forbidden fruit. Adam is horrified when he gets to know what Eve has done. But because he does not want to lose Eve, he also decides to share her fate. And he also eats the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge. In Book 10, Adam and Eve are punished for their disobedience. They are thrown out of the Garden of Eden. Eve is told that her sorrows will be multiplied by the bearing of children. Adam is told that he has to now work very hard and toil and sweat around in order to earn his bread and butter. And in earth, there will be changing seasons, violent storms, earthquakes, and every natural calamity possible. Whereas on Garden of Eden, it was forever spring. Satan, on the other hand, tells his son and daughter, sin and death, to start living in earth. So we can see that Adam and Eve loses the grace of God and they are thrown out of the Garden of Eden. In Book 11, God sends an archangel Michael to visit Adam and Eve before they leave the Garden of Eden. Michael shows Adam a vision of the future till the great flood will occur. He shows Adam two men in future killing each other. He tells Adam that those are his sons, Cain and Abel. Adam is horrified. In Book 12, Michael shows Adam, Israel and the promised land, Jerusalem. He also shows Son of God, Jesus Christ, who will come to earth to save mankind of his sins. So the only consolation that Adam and Eve gets before leaving the Garden of Eden is that Son of God, Jesus Christ, will appear to save mankind, to redeem mankind from their sins. So finally, they have to leave the Garden of Eden. Michael tells Adam that if you have inner virtues such as love, faith, temperance, patience, then you will always have an inner paradise. No one can take it from you. Finally, Adam and Eve leaves the Garden of Eden and they see that the gates of the Garden of Eden are forever closed for them. So that's it about Paradise Lost by John Milton. So do remember all the important events, what happens in which book. It's very important to remember that, and also the names of all the good angels and the bad angels. So thank you so much for watching. If you found the video helpful, then do like it and share with all your friends, and do subscribe to my channel. I'll be back next weekend with another literary work. Thank you so much for watching.